First, we see about parameterization. So, how to pass? Sanjay, please hold it, Sanjay. Please attend the session. So, how to pass parameter values, how to create a parameters, and how to pass parameter values from pipeline to data set to linked services. That means from one component to other component, how you can pass, how you can create parameters, and how you can pass values to those services. Okay. So first you observe the thing, how to create parameters and how to pass values. After that, I give you one use case. You have to implement that use case. First, let me explain that. I'm going to create a first in the initial step. I will create parameters for linked service. Okay, sir. At the time of creating linked service, you can fix the values, or else you can make it, you can parameterize it. Sir, these linked services are consumed by what? These linked services are consumed by what? Linked services always consumed by data sets. Got it. From data set, you can pass the value. Okay. Again, we can also parameterize data sets also. Data sets are consumed by pipelines. Got it. A small example name, I'm giving server name. Okay. Before going for server name, one simple example. There is a data set. If I fix a data set name, suppose the table name is EMP. Employee is a table, for that I have created a data set. And target is some data lake, DS. That one container name. Let's say container one. I have two data sets over here. And I am designing a pipeline. Pipeline name is pipeline one. Within this copy data activity I am using. Got it. And within the copy data activity, two things are mandatory for you. One is source, second one is sync. In the place of source, I am configuring EMP_DS. And in the place of sync, I am configuring lake_container1_DS. Pipeline published. Whenever you run this pipeline, what will happen? Whenever you run this pipeline, what will happen? Always it is reading data from the employee data set and writing into this particular container. Again, tomorrow you run it, same activity will happen. Every time you run, always it is reading data from one data set and writing into other data set. Okay, now tomorrow my objects got changed. Sales is my source. Lake_container2 is my target. Can I use existed pipeline to run all these things? To copy data from sales to container2, can I use previous pipeline? You cannot, because you have fixed values. Instead of fixing values, if you parameterize them, whenever you want, you will change only the data set names. The physical locations of your data sets, you simply change it. Automatically, with the new data sets, the copy activity will happen. Pipeline is only one, but that is being used for many number of data sets. Because of this, parameterization. Instead of fixing value, make it as a parameter. Pass the values from your pipeline. So to copy data from employee to lake, I use same pipeline. To copy data from sales to lake container to, I use same pipeline. Got it? Instead of making the values as static, you are making the values as dynamic with the help of parameters. At the time of creating data sets, you will be defining them as parameters from the pipeline used to pass the values. Understand? Same kind of example we will see for linked service. First, I will parameterize linked service. But linked services are consumed by data sets. That means from data sets, you have to pass values to the linked service. But data set also I will parameterize. Got it? Within the data set, there are parameters, but values should be passed from pipeline. Got it? The pipeline is passing values to the data set is passing value to the linked service. I have 10 servers, 10 separate linked services you have to create. Now, because of this feature, with one linked service that I can use for all 10 different servers. Got it? First, let me explain one example. After that, I will give you the case study of that use case. You have to implement that use case. Okay. Okay. I prepared a notes for you. The practice step. Parameterized. Observe this scenario first. Example. You want to connect to a same database, but with different servers. Generally, organizations are using multiple database servers. The reason for development, they can use one server. For QA or testing purpose, they can use one server. For pre-production, one server. Again, for main production, one server. Got it? To work with all these environments, you have to create 4 separate linked services. Now, I don't want to go for 4 separate linked services. One linked service should be compatible with all the servers. Okay. So how to make it parameterize? That concept we will see. Already in my portal, I have linked services for this exercise. I will just remove and freshly we will design that. Okay. The resource group, my ADF practice. In this, I am starting ADF Studio from this. Here I have linked service, simply I am removing this. Fail to delete because this is being consumed by some other thing. Let me check. Some dependencies there for that. So now I try to remove previous linked service. Fail to delete parameterized linked service. Maybe some other data set might be consuming that one. Okay, let's go with the fresh linked service for this. I'm going to create a linked service with name ls Azure SQL parameterized. How to create, you know that. New. I'm going to create it for Azure SQL. Azure SQL database I am selecting. So here the name I am giving. Sorry. ls underscore Azure SQL underscore. Let's say parameterized. Some name I have given. So auto integration runtime I'm using. Here it is asking you the subscription server name and all these things. So from the subscription, if I want to select server name, it is not giving me option to select server name dynamically. That's why go to enter manually. Okay. Enter manually, and here it is asking you fully qualified domain name. What is my domain name? How you know? Simply go to your portal, check for your database. Already I have here a database, practice DB, but practice DB is running on top of practice server. Got it? Just check for the server name. This is your server, SQL server. Simply click on that. Here you observe in the right column, the server name is here. Just copy that for our notes purpose. Just keep the thing over here. Later we will use this name. Actually, this server name need to be selected. This is our server name, our database. Okay. Now come back to your area. Instead of fixing, suppose if I fix this server name, what will happen? This linked service is only for this particular server only. For next server, this won't work out. For that server, you have to create separate linked service. Instead of fixing this name over here, I click on add dynamic content. Okay. To add a parameter, here you will find a plus symbol. Got it. Here give the parameter. I'm giving server underscore linked service underscore server, some name. I have the data type. What value you are going to give? The data type is string. You want to assign any default value. Suppose if you don't select any server name, default server I am giving, suppose the practice DB is my development server. This default value is not mandatory. Suppose in front of 3 servers, if you don't select any server, by default, it will take development server. Got it? Okay. This name you have selected. In the place of default, I have given them. But here you have to give some expression. The expression shape will be like this. at the rate linked service dot parameters dot that value. But remembering that kind of syntax is simply waste. Once you have added them here, what is the parameter name you have given there? Linked service underscore server. Click on this parameter. Automatically that is selected over here. Understood this? At the rate linked service of dot your parameter name. So this thing I am selecting over here. Understood? In the place of server, you have given a parameter. What is that parameter? Just take a copy of this for your notes purpose. Again, click on OK. The server name is placed. Just later I will share you this. Here the parameter name you have given this one. Okay. Simply we have given linked service underscore server. After that, the data type, a string you have given, default value, the server name you have passed. Got it. After that, if you click on parameter name, this kind of name will be added. What is that name we have given now? I have given at the rate linked service of the parameter. So simply by seeing this naming notation, you can understand this is a parameter name from your linked service. Suppose in the next level, the parameter is related with the data set at the rate data set dot parameter. And the next level, you will create parameter for pipeline. At that time, it give you the name at the rate pipeline of dot parameters dot parameter name. On that way, naming standards. Got it? Okay, the parameter name is taken. After that, still what you have to do? You can hard code your what is the database name, what is the username, what is the password. Suppose these database names are also changing, you can parameterize them. Got it? Now, in this example, I am going to hard code these three things. What is our database name? Please check it. The database name here, practice DB. Okay, this is what our database name. So I'm going to give that the database name practice DB. And authentication type SQL admin only, SQL authentication only, so that it is asking me user ID and password. Got it? You want to make it parameterized, you know the process. Click on add dynamic content, define a username as a parameter. Understand? But now I'm hard coding that. The username I'm giving as SQL admin. So did you remember at the time of creating your database instance, it is asking you user ID password, right? So that username I have. And password, I'm giving my own password. Okay. Now almost everything is right. Please look at these parameters. Already have created one parameter. The parameter name linked service underscore server name. Server. Got it? So you can check what are all the parameters you have defined. Now come back to practice notes. Finally, once all the details have been given, click on create. Got it? I'm going to create it, but don't test the connection now. If you test it, it is asking me, please provide actual value of the parameters to test. I have given the value, and then you can say Okay. Connection successful. If connection failed, add that IP address to that particular server. Suppose there at the time of testing the connection, if you don't give any parameter value, it cannot test it. Because finally linked service is for to a particular database. But database should stand on some server. If there is no server, it cannot connect with that. The connection cannot be tested. Got it? Suppose default value did not give, just leave it, okay, don't test it. Right? Okay. I'm saying that create. Now my linked service will be created. Successfully created. That linked service name ls underscore Azure SQL underscore parameterized. This name we are going to use. Let me document this name. Already we have given this name, right? Okay. Once linked service is created, that has to be consumed from data sets. Now I'm going to create a data set. How to pass value to a parameter. For that, the linked service is consumed by a data set, so that you have to create a data set. You know how to create a data set. For this, what is the process? Step by step will come. At the time of creating data set, what is the prerequisite to create a data set? Linked service. Already you create one parameterized linked service, select that one. Okay. So till now we do that. Observe, I'm going for pencil icon. I'm going to create a new data set. Data set is for Azure SQL. I'm selecting Azure SQL database. The data set name, it is asking me ds underscore. Let's give some table. The table underscore parameterized. Okay. Linked service. Recently we have created ls Azure SQL parameterized. I'm selecting. Table name, if you want to give, just hard code it, hard code your table value. Or else runtime, you can pass it. Okay. For now, I'm just leaving like this. Finally, creating my data set. Observe this. Data set is created, but data set has to use from the connection section. You will see your parameter linked service underscore server. But how this name has appeared here, sir? How this name appeared over here, your server name. Remember, in linked service, you set some default value. From that it has taken. But I don't want it. I want to pass value from data set to linked service. Again, you have to go for add dynamic content. Understood? Just check it now. The next steps. The data set name I have given ds underscore table underscore parameterized. From connections, click on add content, add dynamic content. This step I am going to do. The parameter name, data set level parameter I will do. Okay. Now just observe the process. In the place of server name, I am going to add dynamic content. So data set level, no parameters are displayed over here. To add a parameter, click on this plus symbol, plus. Got it? So here, I'm giving a parameter name, data set level parameter, data set level parameter, type string. I'm not giving any value over here because value should pass from pipeline to data set to linked service. Understood? Okay, I'm not going to give any value here. Here my parameter name.
Sir, one question here. If you are giving any default value, doesn't at runtime the pipeline value get override the default value?
Yes. Suppose default value you have given developer server. Runtime in the pipeline you have passed to production. What will happen? What will be applied finally?
Production should be applied.
Will be applied.
Okay. Okay.
The default will be overridden by the whatever the value that you have passed. Got it. So here I am not going to give any default value. If you want to give, just give it. But finally, who will be applicable is the value what you have passed from production. Sorry, passed from pipeline. Got it? Okay. Now I am saving. Showing me some invalid because the expression we did not fill anything. Just to click on this parameter name that is added. Previously, what you got? At the rate linked service of dot parameter name you got. Now at the rate dataset dot parameter. So whenever you see a parameter like this parameter related with the dataset. Whenever you see at the rate linked service of dot parameter name, okay, that is related with the linked service. That is that variable was that parameter was defined in that linked service. Got it? Now save okay finally. Data set is ready. Check your work now. Till now what you have done. Whenever you have added, that is added with this name. Got it? Then publish the data set is created now. I'm going to publish this. Publish. Data set published completed. This data set to be used by your pipeline. Okay. Yeah. Come to this. Come to the pipeline. Create new pipeline. First observe the process. Later, once all process completed, I will show again. Once again, I will repeat this process. In the pipeline, previously you did not define any parameters. Now I am going to add a new parameter. The parameter name here I am giving, let's say server or DB server, any name you can give. 1 minute. Server name I say, what will happen? Server name I have added, data type string. Here the value you have to pass. Got it? The server name value you have to pass. The value I am passing, not this, the server name. Server name already we have copied. Let's go to your server. Here server name you can check. That name I am giving here. Got it? This is just one parameter. After added this parameter, user activity. Suppose I'm going to call copy data activity. In the case of copy data activity, the source. The source data set previously have created one data set. The data set name ds underscore table underscore parameterized. కొంచెం అక్కడ సౌండ్స్ తగ్గించమని చెప్పండి పక్క రూమ్లో I think work close అయిపోయింది. Yeah, please. Okay, ds underscore table underscore parameterized. This data set we have created. Check it here. The data set level parameter. So this is the parameter from what? Data set. Okay. Here I am giving, in the place of value, you have to pass your server name. Click on add dynamic content. This is the parameter for pipeline parameter. Just click on this. That is added word. And now say okay. Like this. Got it? Now in the sync, whatever the data set you want to configure the data set. Understood? So remaining complete of the work in my use case, I give you as a use case as assignment, you implement that. So till now what we have done, just try to summarize. Okay, before my summary. Sir, for the source, it is asking me pipeline parameter. What is the value we have selected for the pipeline parameter? The practice server 2001 you have given. Practice server 2001.windows.net that you have given. Okay. Runtime, that value will be applied over it. Got it? So from this data set, this value will be passed to the linked service. Suppose server name is practice server or dev server. Whenever I submit this pipeline, the dev server value will be passed to data set level parameter. Again, in the data set level parameter, you are using one linked service, right? For that one parameter is right. From that data set level, the server name will be passed to linked service. That means when you, after completion of this, whenever you submit your pipeline, runtime linked service will be created. Runtime, your data set will be created. Got it? Data set means runtime. The data set will connect with physical table. And then remaining activity, whatever the activity you are using, that activity operation will be executed. Okay, now I have given here, come back to here. In the place of server name, I have given developer server. Okay, my development work is completed. Later, tester wants to test it. What he has to do? My development work is completed. That is deployed to the next level. Now, what my tester has to do? Sir, please answer me, sir.
Update the value to the
test server. He has to change the value of this server. That's it. He has to change the value of this server name. Suppose his server name is test server. Okay. Okay. Then he has delivered that pipeline to the next level. Then production executives, they will change this name. Suppose production server name is prod server, they will be giving that. Got it? And in the place of copy data, you have to do that. What is the change you have to do? Suppose whether it is source or sync. Where is our data set? This is the data set we are selecting. So here it is asking you what value to be passed to the data set level parameter. It is asking you. This value should be passed from pipeline. That's why I click on add dynamic content. Yes, server name is just passed. Got it. What is the value for that server in the pipeline parameter you have given? Whether it is dev server or test server or pre-production or production, you have given them. Got it. Now, once again, I will create from the beginning all the steps. Please clearly understand. I am removing this pipeline. I am not doing anything. Okay, with the fresh linked service, for fresh data set, I will show you. I am going for manage plus new Azure SQL. Selecting the database, new, its name, linked service name, ls underscore parameterize. And auto integration runtime. So from Azure subscription is selected over here. You cannot make server name as dynamic. No option here. Observe. That's why go for enter manually. Go for enter manually. Here you have to give the server name. Just click it instead of fixing a value. Add dynamic content. Once again, add dynamic content. Here you have to give the parameter name. The parameter name shape will be like this: linked service of dot that parameter. But if you don't know that value, before that you have to add that parameter before fixing this. To add a parameter, here you will find plus symbol. Click on this plus and give the parameter name. The parameter name is ls underscore, or let me give full name, linked service underscore server underscore parameter. Now data type, don't change it because you are passing string value on the server name, is that is a string type, right? Default value, if you want to fix a value, otherwise you can leave it. This is not option, this is not mandatory step, just optional. I'm giving my developer server, which is as a default. Now finally save. But still something is pending. Parameter is created, but that is not added into the expression. The expression, if you don't remember, just click on this. At the rate linked service, the linked service parameter name it has given. Now save OK. Still something is pending for database. Suppose database, generally sir, in companies, server names only will be changing. Database name is common to, suppose sales is the database, sales DB. In testing also sales DB, in production also sales DB. Suppose for some client, these database names also changing. Make it parameterize. The same process. But at the time of creating pipeline, you have to add two parameters. One parameter for server, another parameter for database. Understood? Okay. So for now, I am fixing the database name static. How to get our database name? Just here you can check. Practice DB. That's it. Only the database name is enough. The practice DB is running on previous server. The server name already have given. I'm going to hard code that. Practice D. So authentication type SQL. Mostly in companies, instead of using SQL, they might be using ADF kind of Azure Data Factory authentication. And those things you will have to select. Okay, you need not to worry. That is completely, the ADF will be completely maintained by security admins. The username, I am giving my username, SQL admin. Then the password, the previous password. Finally, test the connection. Because already default value is specified, then only you can test it. At the time of testing, just test with all the servers. While running first time, test with the Dow server. After that, test with QA server. After that, test with the production server. If you feel okay, your linked service is connecting with all the servers, then finally give some default value, anyone, and then click on OK. Connection successful, it is saying. Sometimes you may get some errors, firewall issue errors. If that error you got, because the linked service is connecting with the database from separate IP. That IP you have to add into set firewall rules of your server, database server. Already you have seen that process. Okay, now connection is successful, finally create it. What is the name you have given, linked service name? ls underscore parameterize. Okay. After that, but this all linked services should be consumed by data sets. That means linked service parameter should get value from a data set. You have to create data set. Okay, I'm going for pipe. Going to create a new data set. Sorry, new data set. The data set name I'm giving. So sorry, first of all, I'm going to create a data set for Azure SQL database. Here the database name ds underscore parameterize. Linked service ls underscore parameterized, which was your recent creation. If you want to fix a table name, just fix a table name. But for every pipeline run, it has to work with different table means parameterize it. Which values are always constant, fix the value. Which values are keep changing, don't fix the values, parameterize them. Got it? That is our wish. Okay. So here directly, there is no add dynamic content option over here. Add dynamic content option is not over here because you did not parameterize previously. Okay. Finally, I am saying okay for this. Come to the connection section. Within the connection section, what is the meaning of this? Database name, okay. This parameter is for what? Linked service. That is a linked service parameter. In the linked service parameter, you have given server name as default. Default developer server you have. Got it. But always this should not be passed, right? Always this should not be passed. The value should be passed from data set. That's why click on add dynamic content. Got it. Plus to add a parameter. Here I am giving ds underscore level underscore parameter. I'm not going to fix any value here. I'm not going to fix any value because this value should be passed from pipeline parameter. That's why I'm keeping empty. Just save it. Click on your parameter. This expression, dynamic expression is added. Now click on OK. Sanjay, are you following or confusing? Okay. Okay, just check it now. Previously, some hard coded value fixed. Now, a parameter, the value, that means the dynamic value is placed here. Got it. Now create your data set now. If you want to give the table name, just fix the table. Generally, what are the tables you have in dev environment, same tables will be there into QA environment, same tables will be there into production environment. So the table names you can fix it. Database DB names you can fix it, but server names will be changed. Understood? Okay. Now I'm going to publish this data set. What is our data set name? DS underscore parameterize. Okay, data set published. Now come to the pipeline. New pipeline. First, you have to fix the values for the pipeline. What parameters you want to pass to the data sets. Of course, in this example, only one data set, but you might have two data sets, right? If you have two data sets, give the two parameters. One parameter for data set one, another parameter for data set two. Of course, now I'm showing with the example of a single data set. But our copied data activity needs two data sets. Got it? Okay. For now, I am giving the parameter name. The parameter name DB server. That means database server. What is that server name? Here you can hard code your database value. My database is here. Practice server. I am taking copy of the server name. Sorry. Here we are. Second window. Here I am fixing the value. Here observe. If you click on this box, there is no add dynamic content. Got it? Because this is a parameter is very low level. Got it? So from this, you can pass value to the data set, but no one can pass value to your pipeline. Got it? Here you have to hard code. The developer server name I am giving. Next, once this pipeline is deployed into the test region, tester will pass test server name. Next, production executive will pass production server name. Okay. Where? Okay, this is added. After that, whatever the activity you want, you just use your activity. That is a copy data activity or data flow activity, whatever the thing you want. Now, under copy data, go to the source or sync. The process is same. Whatever the data set you have created, DS underscore parameterize. Now you are at data set level. For the data set, value should be passed from pipeline, so that you have to add pipeline value, pipeline parameter value over here. Understood? Click on add.
Sir, I have a question here. Can we pass query as a parameter to the
you can
pipeline flow?
You can.
Are there any limitations to the number of characters within the string for parameter?
No limitation. Just pass that query as a string. Rakesh, pass the query as a string. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
But one problem you will get in the line. Suppose this query is expected in single quotes. This query is expected in single quotes. You are writing a query, select star from table name where salary or where city equals to Hyderabad. If you pass this kind of query, actually query starts with single quote. Again, here you have like this, right? Again, you are applying some single quote at the time, give some escape sequence characters like this. Understood, Rakesh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where we are? This is the parameter from your pipeline. Just click on this. Just say okay. Already in the beginning, you fixed your server name over here. That value passed to this one. Again, from the data set, this value will be passed to linked service. A runtime linked service is created for you. So finally, what is the advantage of this parameterization according to this sample? That means if you have 4 servers, 4 linked services are not required for you. Got it? Of course, in small organizations only, they maintain 3 environments in small organizations only, like dev and test, QA and production. Generally, for complex applications or for complex organizations, intermediate stages are more. Okay. Dev, multiple staging environments for the QA. Again, finally, pre-production. Again, pre-production to production. Maybe in some complex applications, they might be using 8 levels, 8 level of stages for their dev to production environments. Got it? But how to move your pipeline from one production to other production? So that means one environment to other environment. At that time, Azure DevOps help will be taken. Okay? Azure DevOps help will be taken. Got it. If you do any changes, automatically these changes to be reflected in test environment. So this is called CI/CD pipeline. For that purpose, Azure DevOps will be involved. But how your test environment will pull that from your dev environment? How your test environment can pull the pipeline of dev environment? You have to integrate. You have to integrate your ADF pipelines to the GitHub. GitHub is a central repository for all the pipelines here. Not only for the pipelines, for all code pieces. If I do some changes in the existing pipeline, if I commit that, if I publish that, automatically this publishment should be reflected at GitHub. Okay. From that GitHub, automatically that has to be pulled to test environment manually. If you integrate with the DevOps, that will be automatically. Whenever I submit this pipeline, automatically the same reflection will be available into test also, test environment also. Got it. So in one more session, in one more scenario, I will demonstrate that one. Okay. Still not yet I have practiced that one. Okay. How to integrate with Azure DevOps. I did not check with that. So very soon, into 2 or 3 days, I will come back to you again with that particular scenario. Right. So here, one things are here. This is the case like subscription is one, but multiple DB servers I have as dev, as test, as production. But in some companies, the scenario might be different. Subscription one. This is for dev environment. Okay. Server one. Under subscription two. Okay. This is for QA environment. So here I have test server, which is server two. Again, subscription three. This is for pre-production. Server 3. And subscription 4. This is my main production. That's a server 4. Now this is my story. At the time of creating linked service, the first prerequisite, the subscription, right? Got it. Now what changes I need to do? My single linked service should match all the requirements for all subscriptions and for all servers. What the process I need to do? Rakesh, Satish, Vikram, Sesi, Ishwar and Manoj. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Come on, answer this. Answer my question.
First of all, you need to create that parameters in different ways. So first you can create one parameter is tau and another parameter is QA and another parameter is prepod and
So here, one thing, sir. In the previous example, only server names are changing. All of you understood. In the previous scenario, only server name is changing, but for all the server subscription is same. First, you answer me. Can I create multiple database servers under one subscription? Can I create?
No, in real life, they really create one for non-prod and prod.
Generally, in the real environment, they create one subscription, one server, one database server. But do I have choice or not? I have choice. Of course, my trial is free trial only, but within the free trial, SQL server number 1, server 2, server 3, 3 separate servers I have created. But in real scenario, they maintain multiple subscriptions. Got it? They maintain multiple subscriptions because billing is different from each subscription. For dev, separate subscription. For test, separate subscription. Now my scenario, subscriptions are changing at the same time, database servers are changing. In the previous example, you have created only one parameter for server. Now you have to create two separate parameters for our linked service. One parameter for subscription ID. One parameter for subscription, another parameter for database. Got it? So that is the main thing. If you have 10 servers, no need to create 10 linked services. Instead of doing that, go with one because you are making values dynamic with the help of parameterization. Got it? All of you take a break. I will give you use case and you have to implement that use case and submit me that use case documents by tomorrow. Take a break for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Sir, anyone going to ask me? Someone tried to speak with me?
Sir, when you mentioned subscription, like, isn't it that natural the admin handle the subscription
Yes,
thing?
sir.
Like, even if you are keeping the server name different,
yes,
like, can't we really, like, it's just the parameter value which needs to be updated, right?
yes.
So when you
Only,
said like even parameterize a subscription, I didn't really get that.
yeah, actually, two parameters will pass. Previously, we have created a parameter for server parameter. Add by click on plus symbol, add one more thing like subscription.
Yeah, I understand like adding a parameter, but isn't the subscription thing like once you move the pipe, when you make the deployment of these pipelines from one environment to other environment?
Yes.
It's just, even though the subscription is different, because from developer perspective, they did not really worry about the subscription thing.
Yeah, actually no need to worry.
So only the
actually no need to worry.
Yeah. So yeah. So once they move the pipeline from dev to QA environment, I think it's just the server names which needs to be updated, right?
That's it. That's it.
Because the pipeline is already in that particular environment.
Yes. Exactly same thing. Generally, for each environment, separate subscriptions they are using. Okay. Okay, sir. All of you, take a break for 15 minutes. I will come back and I will give you the assignment for you.